Tonight on CTV News at 6, a familiar subject on one of the last sittings of the current City Council. A mayoral hopeful's motion on bike lanes.
We would be looking at monetary implications.
Consequential election, the race some say deserves more attention.
This is our future generation of Albertans.
And the Edmonton Oilers are back, along with questions about the captain's contract.
When Connor says there's nothing that he wants more is to win in Edmonton, I believe him.
Little bit of a cool down on the way for tomorrow, but still well above average right through into the weekend.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. During its final meeting of the term, Edmonton City Council rejected an effort to pause bike lane construction. That pause would have allowed for more consultation with Edmontonians over the winter. Jeremy Thompson has more on why the suggestion was shot down.
Bike lanes are being built all over the city, including in the central neighborhood of Delton. Some people in the area don't want them. They created a petition and even caught the attention of Transportation Minister Devin Dreeshen, asking him to intervene in the city's plans.
These things are catching them by surprise. These are not necessarily the things that they want.
That's what motivated councillor and mayoral candidate Tim Cartmel to call for a pause on any new bike lane construction on city streets.
It's the last chance to say, okay, we hear you. We're going to stop. The stop isn't going to cause a lot of damage. We'll take a look and hear from you before we proceed again.
Along with the Delton lanes, which city staff say are 3/4 complete, the pause would likely also impact work on 132nd Ave. Councillor Karen Principe has repeatedly raised concerns about that 4-year bike lane project. She's running for re-election in Cartmel's Better Edmonton party.
I wish we weren't here. I wish that this had come about earlier. But I'm glad it is here now. Thank you, Councillor Cartmel.
City staff say they'd have to analyze which projects could be paused and the consequences for doing so.
We would be looking at monetary implications, cost delays with the contractor. There could be some increased costs to finish the work in the following year.
Some councillors grappled with what constitutes proper consultation.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of sober second thought on all plans. Where you draw the line on that, I don't know.
It's very easy to listen to the loudest voices or the unhappy voices and say that they weren't listened to. They were listened to.
The mayor says he's proud to build bike lanes that offer safe transportation options to Edmontonians.
More and more people using those bike lanes and act more of transportation. And as we build more people will use them.
In the end, Cartmel couldn't convince enough of his colleagues to support the bike lane pause. He'll instead take his pitch to Edmontonians on the campaign trail. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A motion to see affordable units in the Riverdale neighborhood rezoned in the future has passed. The motion guarantees all future builds on those lots would contain at least 20 affordable units. Nonprofit Home Ed currently owns the units. Back in April, council approved their sale. The sites are located on 101st Ave, 88th Street, and 92nd Street. To date, the units have not sold.
It's just the first step. A rezoning would have to come to a future public hearing, but I do think it's really important for the neighbors to provide some level of assurance in terms of, what's in their neighborhood moving forward.
Area Councillor Ann Stevenson says affordable housing is important to those living in the community. During election season, the mayoral and council races eat up a lot of attention, but you'll also be voting for school board trustees. 2 former trustees say the decisions winners will make over the next 4 years will have far-reaching consequences. Connor Hogg has more.
Among the many election signs popping up on Edmonton roads are those for school board trustee candidates. While many are unaware who the candidates are, they say it's important to find out.
I'm not super in touch with it now, but I'm keen to kind of educate myself.
Up to us to let them know what we want and what we expect.
Especially with what's going on already, we need to make sure that people are getting the proper education.
Well, that idea that we invest and pay attention to school board elections, I think matters, and I would say now more than ever.
Tricia Estabrooks is a former school board trustee and chair of Edmonton's Public School Board. She says the election is important even to those without kids in school.
Our future generation of Albertans who will staff our hospitals, work in our schools, take care of us when we get older.
Decisions that we made at the school board are not just billion-dollar budget decisions. They're also pivotal conversations about what do we want our community to look like? What do we want our schools to look like? Who should our schools be for?
Ward Papasteo City Councillor Michael Jans is also a former trustee. He says he's excited to see so many races with candidates running instead of being elected by default.
I think that's a sad state. But now, in my particular area, there's 3 highly qualified people running for school board.
Estabrooks says trustees work closely with councillors, MLAs, and MPs. Jan says while some of the trustees' authority has moved to the province over the last quarter century, it's important for members of the community to have their say. Everyone can vote for trustees in the general election, not just voters with children.
If you have children, if you have young people in your life and you care about their education, then certainly make the time and invest the time. I mean, what is it? 5-10 minutes to scour some websites, talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends. I mean, that's all it takes.
Election Day is October 20th. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
In 2 weeks' time, Albertans eligible for free COVID-19 vaccines will be able to start getting them. Those who aren't eligible must decide whether paying $100 for it is worth it. CTV's Nicole Weisberg has some expert advice.
I do.
You do qualify to get it for free?
Yeah, but my husband doesn't.
For the first time since COVID-19 emerged, one half of this couple will be getting vaccinated and one won't.
But I don't have the same issues she does, so she gets it and I don't.
Are you going to pay?
Not right now. It's too expensive, really.
This pediatric infectious disease specialist and vaccine researcher says the COVID vaccine is about as effective as the flu shot.
40 to 60% reduction in your chance of getting hospitalized and dying from COVID. And that's similar to what we see with the flu vaccine year on year. And I should say that COVID killed twice as many Albertans last year as influenza.
Low-income seniors, people who are immunocompromised, have underlying medical conditions, live in continuing care, or are homeless are eligible for free vaccines. After the government reversed its initial policy, healthcare workers are also included. Everyone else must pay $100.
I am going to pay because I do want to be vaccinated.
For those who are undecided, Dr. Top suggests looking at the national recommendations on who gets vaccinated. Alberta covers most of those people, but not all.
Most notably that the vaccine doesn't appear to be being offered for free to all Albertans 65 and over, which we know age is probably the biggest risk factor for severe disease.
Other groups left out are people in or from First Nation communities and racialized communities. In a statement, the province says many of these people fall into other eligibility categories, including 87% of seniors. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta's Privacy Commissioner has questions about the province's push to add citizenship details to driver's licenses. Earlier this week, Premier Danielle Smith said mandatory citizenship markers will be placed on IDs in late 2026. Today, the Information and Privacy Commissioner of Alberta questioned the change. She says her office was not informed or consulted ahead of time, and it's unclear what the benefit for Albertans would be. Smith says it's been successful in other jurisdictions.
Well, Manitoba has had citizenship on its licenses in the past, as has Ontario. So I think we can manage through it. There's 67 countries in the world that have citizenship on their government issue ID, and part of the reason for that is to make sure that the people who are accessing social programs are entitled to access those social programs.
The Privacy Commissioner says her office will further assess the changes once it sees the proposed legislation. In the meantime, Smith is directing her jobs minister to use all legal means possible to give Alberta more control over immigration. In a new mandate letter to Joseph Scow, Smith says Alberta needs more control over immigration to ensure the province sees sustainable levels of newcomers. The letter says Canadian citizens should have first access to jobs and young people should be prioritized over temporary foreign workers. This comes as the Alberta Next panel travels the province, hearing ways the province can wrestle power from Ottawa. The panel is holding its next meeting tonight in Grand Prairie. The Oilers opened training camp today with medical and fitness testing. Edmonton Oilers general manager Stan Bowman was asked about forward Zach Hyman. The 33-year-old was injured in the playoffs and had surgery during the offseason. Bowman and Hyman say his recovery is going well and he's skating, just not with the team. There's no timeline for his return. Bowman says he continues to have conversations with captain Connor McDavid regarding a new contract, and McDavid's main focus is winning, not salary.
I trust what Connor says. I mean, really, at the end of the day, when Connor says there's nothing that he wants more is to win in Edmonton, I believe him. I don't know why anyone else wouldn't. Like, he's been consistent in saying that, and I love hearing it when he says that's his singular focus is to win in Edmonton.
The Oilers' preseason schedule begins Sunday with split squad games against the Calgary Flames. The newest winners of the Amazing Race Canada have been crowned after more than 2 months of challenges. It's the third year in a row the top competitors have had ties to Alberta. Marian Valdez-Carletti reports.
Oh no, this is too good to be true. That's the moment Jesse Herring and Jonathan Braun crossed the finish line to win the Amazing Race Canada Season 11.
It felt so surreal. Like, we were in the finale against some tough competition, and to come away on top was just so cool.
Herring hails from Sherwood Park, and Braun is from Woodlawn, Ontario. The season started off in Edmonton, where last season's winners were crowned.
All right, everyone, good luck.
It was such a great advantage in that first leg because we had to be driving around, and to know how to get onto the Anthony Henday and get around Edmonton was a really key point.
Edmonton viewers may have recognized these familiar faces in the race.
I'm known as Superfan Magoo of the Edmonton Oilers. I'm the guy who pumps up the team and the fans.
Heading into the final episode, Blair and Skylene, also known as Superfan Magoo and Nippy, were in first place. They ended up in fourth.
Yeah, I had all sorts of different emotions. I was mad, I was sad, I was heartbroken.
Even though we didn't win first, to us, we were still champions.
The teams crossed 24 cities in 5 provinces and 1 territory, but participating in Edmonton was special.
As we were rappelling down, he was rappelling down, and there was like fans standing to the side, and they were yelling, Magoo!
The winners, who now live in BC, took home 2 brand new cars, a trip around the world, and a $250,000 cash prize.
It's not buying us a house, maybe a nice cardboard box somewhere, but it is definitely just giving that ability to kind of take a breath and figure out what's next.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Our Josh, the heat streak continues.
Yeah, it's been all month, basically. The temperatures have been above average. We'll show you the temperature calendar here in a second. Today, up to 28 for a daytime high. We're at 27 in downtown Edmonton right now. A little cooler east of the city at Elkon at 23 degrees. There's your wind, though. It has been breezy through the day. Right now, 15 gusting to 30 downtown and about 20 gusting to 40 off to the northwest and west of the city. A little stronger there, south at the International Airport. 28 puts us 11 degrees above average. 17 is the average daytime high, and it was a lot warmer this morning than it was yesterday. Yesterday, we started the day at 6 degrees. This morning, we started at 13. I think we'll be in the 11 or 12 degree range for a morning low tomorrow. All right, here's that temperature calendar we were talking about. We said almost every day has been above average. One day, the 4th of September, and it wasn't below average. It was just right on par with average. We've been in the 20s every single day except the 4th of September, and a lot of those days have been in the mid to upper 20s. We'll be in the mid 20s, it looks like, again tomorrow, and possibly back up to about 28 or 29 on Saturday. Clear skies right across the province, but if you look to the west, there is a little bit of rain that may move into northwestern Alberta for tonight, and I think late tomorrow night. There's a slight chance for a shower here in the Edmonton area. Through the daytime hours, though, lots of sunshine and warm once again, 11 degrees in the morning and about 24 or 25 in the afternoon. Full look at your 5 and 10-day forecast in a couple minutes.
Thanks, Josh. When we return, Edmontonians arrested in a major bust.
We are talking about a multinational criminal organization.
One of the biggest drug operations in provincial history. And
I'm very, very encouraged by where our talks are heading.
the Premier looking on the bright side for major energy project support from Ottawa.
Wednesday on Your Morning, the winners of Amazing Race Canada on how it feels and what's next.
Take a nap. Holy crap, it's been a really busy period.
Thursday, iconic music videos of the past and favorites picked by you.
Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Alberta's alert enforcement team says it's made one of the biggest drug busts in provincial history, a cross-border case they call Project Cerberus. Police say the cocaine was trafficked through 3 countries and was destined to stay in Canada. 4 of the 6 charged in connection with the bust are from the Edmonton area. CTV's Kevin Green reports.
Rifles and handguns line the table at police headquarters, along with stacks of drugs. In total, 15 firearms and 157 kilograms of cocaine, all laid out in bricks. It's one of the biggest drug busts in Alberta history.
The cocaine tested at between 96 to 98% purity, and if sold on the street, it would have an estimated value of over $15 million.
The packed podium was its own message. This bust took a lot of badges. RCMP, Calgary Police, Toronto Police, and the USDEA. A multi-jurisdiction push to dismantle a network with Mexican cartel ties.
This wasn't just a Calgary problem, or an Alberta problem for that matter. We are talking about a multinational criminal organization, a business built on importing drugs and violence into our communities.
Investigators say the cocaine came through land borders, moving between countries in 7 vehicles, each built out with hydraulic button and toggle secret compartments.
Our information suggests that the organized crime group was paying upwards to $50,000 to have these hidden compartments installed, and this speaks to the sophistication of their operation and profit motive.
Clearly known in the underworld, the group even stamped its own logo on every brick of cocaine. Officers won't say how they first learned of the network, but they do say they believe it's no longer operating.
This criminal organization was effectively dismantled over the past few months with a series of arrests and charges approved by the Public Prosecution Service of Canada.
The Premier says she is confident federal energy projects are still high on Ottawa's to-do list. She also believes a pipeline could be approved sooner rather than later. Speaking to business leaders this morning, Danielle Smith said she's expecting another round of major infrastructure projects to be announced before mid-November. Smith believes a pipeline to the coast and an Alberta carbon capture initiative are both front-runners to make that list. The Premier says meetings with the Prime Minister last week have her feeling optimistic.
Well, the pipeline to Prince Rupert isn't on the list of projects to be fast-tracked yet. That can change soon. We actually have been assured that there are ways to continue to add projects to that list. It's going to be an evergreening process. We are in active discussions about that right now, and I'm very, very encouraged by where our talks are heading.
Smith added she's having ongoing dialogue with major pipeline companies. She believes it'll be a consortium that eventually steps up to invest in the project. Leaders in the canola industry are also optimistic after a meeting with the Prime Minister. Saskatchewan's Premier updated the group yesterday on Chinese tariffs on canola after a trip to China. The chair of the Alberta Canola Producers Commission was there. He says Canadian officials continue to be engaged with the Chinese to work towards a solution. He adds the international trade relationship is complicated and they need market access to one of the world's largest importers.
It's not something that we can replace overnight. That's one of the things we did talk to the Prime Minister about. You know, there's short-term and long-term implications. And one of the longer, or say medium-term, is basically we really need to look at renewable fuels in Canada. That way our product stays here and it can be used here.
The hope from industry leaders is for a resolution to be found by the end of the year. Coming up, branching out.
So this is the ginkgo biloba tree. It's native to China.
A look at dozens of the unique plant and tree species that call the University of Alberta home.
A little bit of a cool down on the way for tomorrow, but still mid-20s for daytime highs tomorrow and Friday. Back close to 30 on Saturday. Closer look at that and the cool down for next week after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The University of Alberta says if you're not paying attention to the trees on its campus, you're missing out. The school is home to dozens of different species, including some you may think couldn't survive here. As CTV's Narman Issa reports, the U of A is branching out by offering tree tours.
I'm Stacey Bergheim, and I am a tree nerd.
Stacey Bergheim is an expert in trees. She works at the Forest Genetics Lab at the University of Alberta.
So this is the ginkgo biloba tree. It's native to China. It's considered to be a living fossil because it actually has not changed that much in the last 29 million years.
The university is home to 50 species of trees, both native and from around the world.
It is native to the Middle East and Russia. It's a Russian olive. It's got this beautiful gray, green foliage.
This is Alberta's provincial tree, the lodgepole pine.
It's a pretty important economic tree for Alberta's forestry.
And Canada's national tree, the sugar maple.
This is the tree that gets tapped to get maple syrup from.
The trees are also part of the curriculum for forestry students who use them to learn how to identify different kinds.
Then the students can learn about trees that are maybe not native to Alberta's forests. Maybe they're from Eastern Canada or elsewhere in the world, but we now have exposure for our students to those trees.
I do notice the trees, yeah. I'm a forester, so I really like American elm, these ones right here.
The university is hosting guided tours this weekend. Bergheim says she hopes this gets students and staff to not take the trees for granted.
When you're walking through campus, if you're not looking up, you're probably not seeing each tree. You feel how those trees make you feel better and they look beautiful, but they're not maybe identifying and looking at a specific tree and saying, oh, that particular tree is beautiful.
The tours are free and open to the public. Narman Issa, CTV News, Edmonton.
All right, another ho-hum day, just another beautiful one to enjoy day after day.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have days like today off.
Variation.
Hey, sunshine, 28 degrees this afternoon. Sure, it was a little breezy, but beautiful September day. Blue skies. Did you look through the Action Furnace River Valley Skycam? Action Furnace, fixed rider, it's free. It's 27 degrees after hitting a high of 28 today. Could be back in that 28, 29 degree range on Saturday. 24 for a daytime high in Fort McMurray. You get to 26 in Grand Prairie, 22s, 23s in East Central and Northeastern Alberta. And look at Jasper, 29 degrees this afternoon. The hot spot, or one of the hot spots around the province. There's your clear skies right across Alberta. You see everything again arching well to the north. So there's that big upper ridge still in place. But we're starting to see the back edge of that upper ridge. It is going to start to sneak off to the southeast over the next couple of days. And so temperatures tomorrow will drop slightly from where we were today. We'll be about 24, 25 for high tomorrow and Friday. It's Sunday that things really start to cool off in a bigger way. There's your chance of showers overnight in through northwestern Alberta. We'll keep the clear skies, though, overnight tonight and through the day tomorrow. Clouds start to build up further to the west tomorrow afternoon. This weak little cold front will likely set off some scattered showers tomorrow. if we're going to see anything at all, and it's an outside chance, but if we see anything at all, it's late tomorrow night or through the overnight period around Edmonton or just off to the south and southeast. There will probably be at least a few overnight scattered showers. Question is where exactly they pop up. Those clouds should be out of here, and we're back to some sunshine for Friday and sunshine in the forecast for Saturday as well. So look at the dark red zone today. Sneaks off to the east a little bit for tomorrow. There's Friday. Comes right back at us on Saturday. So temperatures high 20s, maybe even some 30s across south and southeastern Alberta Saturday afternoon. But there's your cool down starting to settle in on Sundays. Daytime highs get back closer to 20. And by the end of next week, mid to high teens for daytime highs. It's 23 right now in Fort McMurray, 25 in Grand Prairie. We're at 27 degrees in downtown Edmonton with some wind. Right now it's gusting to about 30, 35 kilometers per hour. We'll see those wind gusts die down through this evening. Average daytime high is 17 degrees. We'll be at 17 degrees at midnight tonight. Your 9 p.m. temperatures 3 degrees warmer than the average high for this time of year. About 11 or 12 degrees tomorrow morning. Winds should be pretty light through the day tomorrow, although it will swing around to the north. And we'll see a temperature of about 24, 25 for a high tomorrow afternoon and again Friday afternoon. There's that slight chance of a scattered shower late tomorrow night or through the overnight period. Clearing through the day Friday. Sunshine, 28 or 29 on Saturday, and then highs near 20 for Sunday, Monday. Still a slight chance of a spotty shower on Sunday, although I think for most of the day it'll be dry. And there's your cool down towards the end of next week, back into the 16, 17 degree range by next Friday, Saturday. For the next couple of days, though, more of the same, mid to upper 20s daytime highs.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Still to come on CTV News at 6, a break for borrowers.
Canadians remain concerned about the cost of living, and our primary mandate is to maintain low, stable inflation.
The Bank of Canada cuts its key rate, and
right now we're not looking at those types of situations.
The Edmonton Oilers not in the running to sign a goalie acquitted of sexual assault in a high-profile trial.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
ABC is taking Jimmy Kimmel's late-night talk show off the air indefinitely after the host's comments about Charlie Kirk's suspected killer. Here's a part of the Monday monologue in question.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
A spokesperson for the network says Jimmy Kimmel Live will be preempted indefinitely. No other details were given. Prior to the announcement, Nexstar, a major operator of ABC-affiliated stations, said it would not broadcast the show for the foreseeable future. Nexstar saying it strongly objects to comments concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk. The Trump-appointed head of the Federal Communications Commission praised Nexstar on social media this afternoon. Brendan Carr had publicly called on parent company Disney to take action. Kimmel has yet to respond. In the UK, Donald Trump is being hosted by King Charles at Windsor Castle. The UK is pulling out all the stops for the U.S. president, who's known to be a fan of the royals. CTV's Washington bureau chief Joy Malbon reports.
Talk about a royal charm offensive. The U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania arrived to a spectacular welcome, greeted by Prince William and Princess Catherine, and then King Charles and Queen Camilla. Pulling out all the stops designed to dazzle the U.S. president, who's a great admirer of the late Queen and royal family. There was a massive military performance, a fly past with the red arrows, but all of this is happening inside these castle walls where security is very tight, and avoiding the large number of anti-Trump protesters here and in London. Today's pomp is a rare honor for this president. It's meant to strengthen ties between the U.S. and the U.K., the so-called special relationship, and it's recognition that the U.S. president has craved. The British government hopes this will smooth over some thorny issues when Prime Minister Keir Starmer meets with Trump over tariffs. The government hopes to ink new trade and technology deals, and And there's also the issue of support for Ukraine. While King Charles is politically neutral, he may delicately raise the issue with the president, capping the day with a lavish banquet fit for the president and hosted by the king. Today, the pageantry, tomorrow, the politics. All of this happening in just 48 hours. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Windsor.
The Prime Minister is heading to Mexico tomorrow, attempting to deepen trade ties between the two countries. CTV's Judy Trin has more on upcoming negotiations and what might stand in the way.
Not the best deal of anyone right now. 85% of trade between Canada and the United States remains free, but change is coming. The existing North American agreement expires next June. The Trump administration has served notice that its public consultations on CUSMA have started. It's seeking input on how it can be remade to strengthen U.S. competitiveness, productivity, and technology.
Clearly, the U.S. is moving into the phase of preparing for renegotiation, and they're trying to get stakeholders to give them a list of all of the things that they have concerns about.
The official start of the CUSMA review comes as the Prime Minister travels to meet Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on Thursday. Canada did $56 billion in trade with Mexico last year. Both countries want to increase business with each other, but also face tariff pressure from the U.S.
I find it very, very difficult to imagine how the two countries are going to find a lot of common ground. There's so much pressure right now, which is sort of pushing them away from each other as each one tries to secure preferential treatment from Washington.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith have previously said that they would be in favor of dropping Mexico from CUSMA to curry favor with Donald Trump. But both the Prime Minister and President Sheinbaum have said they are in support of a North American trade agreement. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Bank of Canada cut its key rate today down to 2.5%, the lowest in years. CTV's Michael Couture takes a closer look at the thinking behind the rate reduction.
With global economic growth showing signs of slowing, Tiff Macklem says much of the uncertainty is because of the trade war with the U.S.
Tariffs are weakening the Canadian economy.
Canada's central banker couldn't be more blunt, as exports dropped by 27% in the second quarter of this year and inflation rose by 1.9%. Tiff Macklem and his team decided it was best to lower interest rates.
Canadians remain concerned about the cost of living, and our primary mandate is to maintain low, stable inflation, and we are very focused on that.
Canada's GDP declined by 1.6% in the second quarter, and some forecasts have the rest of the year looking flat, leading some economists to use the R word.
The term is technical recession, where there's two negative quarters. Well, certainly we're pretty well there. The third quarter, it's going to be flat at best.
The central bank disagrees, predicting modest growth in the second half of the year. But Macklem says that could change depending on what comes from the U.S.
Where there's a significant escalation of tariffs, U.S. tariffs, in that scenario, the Canadian economy does go into recession.
The effects of the trade war are also being felt in the U.S., where job gains have slowed and inflation ticked up. It's why the U.S. Federal Reserve recommended cutting its interest rate by 25 basis points on Wednesday. And while the decisions in each country are made independently, it does provide some perspective.
You know, we talk about we got a big deficit of debt. Well, theirs is way bigger than ours are.
The Bank of Canada's next rate decision is in October, but it's unclear if there will be another cut then. With the federal budget expected November 4th, Macklem could wait to see the scope of government spending before cutting the interest rate again. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
A 75-year-old man from Nova Scotia has been accused of sexually assaulting more than 300 children. Police say the man worked as a swim instructor at a youth correctional facility, and the alleged assaults happened over a 30-year span. He's now facing 66 charges related to 30 alleged victims, including sexual assault. He's been released and will be back in court later this month. Police say the investigation is ongoing, and they expect to lay additional charges. None of the charges have been tested in court. A Halifax man has been arrested after 3 synagogues in the city were vandalized with anti-Semitic messages over the weekend. Officers responded to 6 incidents of racist graffiti Sunday morning, including a swastika spray painted over the sign at a synagogue. The 31-year-old man now faces several charges, including public incitement of hatred in connection with what police are calling hate crimes. 2 former World Junior players acquitted of sexual assault in a high-profile trial will not be returning to their previous NHL teams this season. Alex Fermenton has parted ways with Ottawa, and goaltender Carter Hart is done in Philadelphia. The Flyers say Hart is looking for a fresh start after being away from the team for 18 months. Earlier this month, the NHL said it was reinstating Hart, along with Formenton, Michael McLeod, Dylan Dubé, and Cal Foote. The 5 are eligible to sign NHL contracts October 15th and play games December the 1st. Edmonton Oilers general manager Stan Bowman was asked about the possibility of signing Hart today.
Right now, we're not looking at those types of situations. I really like I referenced earlier to Mark, I like where Stu's at with his the way he trained and his outlook coming into the year. So I think we're going to go forward with that.
Hart grew up in Sherwood Park. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, improving outcomes after spinal cord injuries.
It's helped me kind of get back into work and stuff too, because I'm not exhausted all the time.
Alberta scientists are stabilizing blood pressure. Plus,
the rest of the world will definitely be noticing, watching, and hopefully utilizing these types of systems and services going forward.
Alberta Wildland Firefighting Company expands south of the border. The product they're touting next.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Edmonton, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 72 cents to the American dollar. Oil was down 46 cents, closing the day at $63.70 U.S. a barrel. Gold lost more than $7 today. The TSX and Dow Jones both ended higher, up 6 points and 260 points, respectively. The union representing flight attendants at WestJet wants to start contract negotiations. CUPE has served notice to bargain a new collective agreement. The current contract expires December 31st. WestJet flight attendants want compensation for unpaid work they do during, before, and after flights. The airline says it's looking forward to reaching an agreement. Earlier this month, Air Canada flight attendants rejected their employer's latest offer after striking over similar concerns. The federal government's probe into unpaid work in Canada's airline sector is expected to wrap up by early December. A Red Deer wildland firefighting company is expanding to the United States. Fire and Flood trains firefighters to help when wildfires are out of control. It's also designed its own portable above-ground hydrant system for fighting the fires. The company began in 2016 and has expanded within Western Canada. This new expansion is the first in the U.S.
The reason we decided California is because they are world leaders in wildfire suppression and management, and we feel that if our systems and our services get integrated into California the way that we think they will, the rest of the world will definitely be noticing, watching, and hopefully utilizing these types of systems and services going forward.
The company hopes to expand into Australia next. An implant is transforming the lives of spinal cord injury patients by addressing a common yet serious complication, unstable blood pressure. The innovation is the result of a global research effort involving the University of Calgary. As CTV's Kathy Lee reports, the device has been life-changing for at least one Alberta man.
3 years ago, a car crash stole Cody Krebs' ability to walk.
A semi-truck blew a stop sign and T-boned me. That resulted in me breaking my neck.
But through the challenges, his partner Kiana, always present with unyielding devotion.
She's the strongest person that I know. Yeah, without her, I wouldn't be near where I am now.
In this moment, the 32-year-old's life much improved thanks to a new device implanted in his spine that helps to regulate his blood pressure. The inability to do that, a common problem for patients with spinal cord injuries.
This is because the spinal cord is disconnected from the brain, which is responsible for controlling blood pressure.
I get really lightheaded and dizzy, and like my ears can start ringing.
The breakthrough technology used in a clinical trial Krebs was part of. The research led by teams from several universities worldwide, including the University of Calgary.
It delivers a low electrical current to the spinal cord and basically replaces the signal that the brain would normally give to the body to control the blood pressure.
The implant has American Health Agency, the FDA, approval for another trial involving 20 research centers across Canada, Europe, and the United States. For Krebs, it's been life-changing.
It's helped me kind of get back into work and stuff too, because I'm not exhausted all the time.
With more energy, that means he can start to focus on figuring out life again.
Take it day by day, I guess.
With his biggest support by his side. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
A new Indigenous-inspired bus wrap will soon be on city streets. Edmonton Transit partnered with the Edmonton Aboriginal Senior Centre to create the design. It features bright colors and images of sweetgrass and teepees. The wrap was inspired by stories and experiences Indigenous seniors and elders have shared with the city.
Having the bus out there is a way for us to let all community know that we're a senior centre that honors and respects all traditions.
Edmonton Transit says it hopes people are inspired to learn more about Indigenous history. It says the bus wrap is a visible reflection of reconciliation in action in our city. Still ahead, uncovering a new species.
The fact that we found something the size of a fingernail was... Truth be told, I don't know how we found that, so we were pretty lucky.
A huge discovery from a tiny fossil.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk. Programming brought to you by Southview Acura. For family-owned, award-winning excellence, Southview Acura, where luxury meets reality.
Paleontologists from all over the world descend on Dinosaur Provincial Park every summer to look for fossils, and a team from McGill University hit pay dirt 2 summers ago. They discovered a 75-million-year-old dragonfly fossil, and not only is it the first ever found in the park, it's also the first discovered in all of Canada. Kevin Fleming reports.
It's taken 2 years of hard work to research their find. Andre Mueller is a master's student at McGill University studying paleontology. He and the team from the university made a big discovery in 2023, finding a fossil of what they thought might be the back wing of a dragonfly.
I remember I was jumping up and down for about a couple days after that find. It's like, oh my gosh, this is the best find ever, and I'm just fully geeking out. But yeah, definitely morale was high that year, I'll say that.
Mueller headed the research project to identify the species of the prehistoric insect.
I set out going through basically every paper on dragonflies from this period in the world. Old Russian papers, like trying to translate everything I can. And no, this thing was completely different. No anatomy was like it.
Not only was it a new species, it's the first dragonfly found in all of Canada. Their research study was recently published in the Canadian Journal of Earth Sciences. And the team got to name their dragonfly and chose to name it after a University of Alberta scientist and entomologist.
So we named the dragonfly Cordoaladensa acorni. Cordoaladensa meaning densely winged cordelid, which is the kind of dragonfly it's related to, and acorni after John Acorn.
Mueller says the big dinosaurs like T-Rex get all the attention, but he says it's the smaller creatures and plants that help scientists develop a better understanding of what the prehistoric ecosystem looked like. The team from McGill returned to Dinosaur Provincial Park this last season and to the exact same spot where they found the dragonfly fossil, in the hopes of finding more leaf fossils and insect fossils. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Drumheller.
All right, so that story was very informative, very good. But you've got some dragonfly facts here, some knowledge.
Did you know the dragonfly not actually a dragon? Surprised Kevin didn't get into that in his story.
They're just little tiny ones.
Yeah. Take a look at your forecast. 11 degrees tomorrow morning. 24 tomorrow afternoon under mainly sunny skies. We got to 28 for a daytime high today. It'll be a little cooler than that tomorrow. That's still way above average. 17 the average daytime high. Sunshine right through the day, but late tomorrow night might be a little shower that goes through the Edmonton area. It's not going to be the heavy, steady rain a lot of you want. Partly cloudy skies Friday morning. That'll clear to sunshine and a high of about 24, 25 Friday afternoon. And then Saturday should look a lot like today. Sunshine up to about 28 degrees. We're closer to 20 for Sunday, Monday, with the slight chance of a scattered shower on Sunday. But that as well does not look like heavy, steady rain. A lot cooler by the end of next week.
All right. Thanks, Josh. And thanks for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, CTV News Edmonton.ca. See ya.